Go ahead.
Here we're demonstrating patellar taping, helping the vastus medialis be more efficient in tracking the kneecap. Most of our clients will require a medial glide and tilt of the patella, or that influence. In order to do this correctly, one must know where the patella is. It is essentially heart-shaped, wide at the top, broadening out, narrowing down to a point. I'll outline it with this pen. Top, side, right along the bone, outside, the lateral side as we call it, down to the point. Knowing these landmarks will help me to place my under wrap, which protects my skin from the powerful tape which we'll use after this. Carefully peeling so as not to fold it back over itself. Mind you, this is expensive stuff. We want to do it right the first time. I will seek to put this slightly outside my lateral or outer line. The reason is we're influencing the bone, the patella, via the soft tissue overlying it, which is elastic. So we have to allow for some give. So slightly outside this outer line will be where the tape goes. Generally centered so that that heart-shaped patella is in the middle of the tape, not peeking out the top or the bottom. Lay it down. There's no need to put any tension on this. If it's wrinkled, don't worry. Just lay it down, going all the way over to the midline of the joint. You don't have to be too precise with this. It does not need to go around the back of the knee. It will get caught there when bending. That's the only caveat. Now smooth it down. Notice the wrinkles. That's natural given our human contours. Make sure it has good contact. And remember, let's re-outline so we know the margins of our object of influence, the patella. Can you see these lines, hopefully? I'll darken them up a little bit. Lateral, medial side, broad top, and pushing upward till I feel a bony prominence, the point or inferior pole of the patella. What we're seeking to do is influence the patella in two planes of motion in today's example. Influencing it across, glide, medial towards the middle glide, and tilting it somewhat medially or inward as well. Glide and tilt. I have pre-cut 3 strips of Leukotape. I then place slightly outside the lateral margin my first strip. Secure it. Notice I'm keeping this up. This is the tricky bit. I must now influence this patella with a relaxed musculature towards the middle. I'm pushing in with this finger till my patella rocks inward somewhat. You'll notice the wrinkles across the soft tissue if you can see that on camera. I then just pull until the slack is taken out of the tape with my pulling hand here. There. Now I'm across the patella. At the same time, I take my first thumb, keeping the pressure medially with my index finger, and pull the soft tissue. The medial soft tissue is bunched up. I then lay the tape over it. At this point, one should have some wrinkles underneath the tape. This is good. Release your pressure. There's your first strip. You've now influenced medially. Now, a somewhat shorter strip for influencing medial tilt in this instance. Remember the top of the patella and the bottom, the superior and inferior poles. These are at about the middle of the patella when we divide it into right and left sides. So going about the midline of the patella, not to the outside as before, I'm then seeking to pull downwards or influence the patella inwards and downwards on its own axis. Hence, I merely push down on this half of the patella, the medial half of the patella, either with the index finger or thumb. I can then use the other hand or the same thumb to pull up some medial soft tissue. Keep tension medially, pulling with this hand, and lay it down. It's a shorter strip, not as pronounced a pressure as your first strip, but it will accomplish the goal when you load dynamically in weight bearing. Then for security's sake, we generally like to put a third strip repeating the medial influence, the medial glide, to secure our taping. Here we're already marked, not going below the bottom half of the patella or above the top half, but as much as possible through the middle as demarcated by the top and bottom markings of the pen. A little bit of medial influence, pushing this way slightly, using that long thumb to pull up, or if your thumb can't reach there, use the other hand and lay it down. You should feel a moderate tugging or pulling, usually at the outer aspect of the knee. Hence, patellar taping with medial glide and tilt to influence the effectiveness of the vastus medialis in terminal extension, the last few degrees of knee extension.
Awesome.